Welcome to the Fuck Fentanyl podcast. I'm Luis Romero. I'm the Fuck Fentanyl guy. Today I got a really special awareness episode of the Fuck Fentanyl podcast. I have my guest, Treva Noriega. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
This is we've been trying to do this for a while, and I'm so excited that we finally get to a chance to get together.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
A few months.
Well, before we get to it, you experienced loss from a fentanyl poisoning. Your son, Cooper Noriega. But I wanted to just talk a little bit about you, and just a little bit of your backstory, if you don't mind, just where you grew up and all that.
I grew up in Dallas. I moved here in 1987. And I've been married to Harold for almost 30 years.
Wow.
And we have two beautiful children.
Nice.
And Parker, who is 28, and Cooper, 23.
Yeah. Awesome. And I guess let's just go to with Cooper. What year was he born and all that?
He was born June 28th,
Yeah.
in 2002.
Okay.
I'm hoping that people aren't tired of hearing me say this, but Cooper was, it's just kind of always special.
Yeah.
Like, I know that sounds kind of weird, but from the moment he was born, and he came out crying, and I whispered in his ear, "Don't cry, honey, I'll be right there." And he literally stopped crying. And the anesthesiologist said, "I've never seen anything like this."
Wow.
And so I think you're probably the first person that I've ever told that to outside of my close friends. But he was just always so sweet and fun and mischievous. He was a boy.
Yeah, for sure.
He was a boy.
Sure.
But we live, in Laguna Beach, and Laguna can be kind of a small town.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people, I want to say this tenderly,
Sure.
because he was kind of bullied for being Mexican and white.
Really?
And oh yeah. And oh yeah. And at the time he was kind of tiny, and then
Whatever reason, I guess.
yeah, for whatever reason. Yeah, it really, when he finally told us, it was just, we were just so unaware.
Yeah.
And but I love that he did share that with us,
Right.
because once he did, we were able to kind of work it out with him, especially because of his dad, and his dad, who is Harold, is extremely well respected in volleyball, and
Okay.
and went to Long Beach State, and and his father's just Harold's a really good guy.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it was really upsetting to hear that he had been bullied, and
Yeah.
for being small and Mexican.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And did you think he overcame that later on?
Absolutely.
I
I think he became very proud of it.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes he would tease me and say, "Mom, you're just too white."
Right.
So, you don't have to put that in there. But it was really, we dealt with it in the most beautiful way. I mean, I love my family, I love my husband, and my children, who beautiful inside and out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And was Cooper was he I know we talked a little bit before, and it seemed like he was a little mischievous.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he was experimenting with like marijuana or
I know when his downfall was, and I know there have been podcasts where I think that he wasn't really clear headed when he would say that he became addicted at 9, or then you would hear like 13. But we put him on Adderall in 7th grade.
Oh, really?
Because his teacher felt he wasn't, in the box.
Okay.
And I just remember sitting there crying, like, what? My son has to go on Adderall?
Right.
Like, isn't he just like a normal boy, happy and, silly?
Yeah.
But she wouldn't put him in that box. And so at the time, I didn't know. I thought, okay, I had to. So we did. And we put him on Adderall. And 8 months later, I stripped him of it. I know you're not supposed to. But I just said, you've changed.
Okay.
You don't eat. You don't sleep. You've changed. You're not happy.
Okay.
And the reason I believe, look, I think Adderall is great for people that need it, but I also think it can be misdiagnosed. I'm not a doctor. So, but I think for him, it might have been misdiagnosed because he's so changed completely. And then in 7th grade, he would go surf and skate kind of south of Laguna with his buddies, and saw a lot of older kids, and they were all kind of drinking and experimenting or doing drugs or whatever.
Right.
And the kids were like, oh. And when they were offered some weed, they would smoke it.
Okay.
And so when we caught Cooper and one of his best friends, of course, the parents sit down, and we were like,
of course, yeah, the big sit down.
And but then somebody gave him a Xanax, and for him, that was like game over.
Yeah.
And I think that was about, how old are you in 7th grade? I want to say he's 14.
14 years old?
13?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's like 13 and a half. And
taking a Xanax from a friend?
From, I think, someone down in, Lucian. Is that right? The Xanax down in, when he was surfing with Landon, were they doing it? I'm not going to say it was. No.
Near the bird pit.
No. That's a whole different. But anyway, sorry about that, guys.
Sorry.
But anyway, he or what were we? The Xanax.
Yeah, the Xanax.
Anyway, he started hanging out with those kids, and I have to say, I mean, I gave him freedom, but I was 5 minutes away because my best friend lived in South Laguna, so I was always right there by Dana Point or San Juan Capistrano or wherever.
Okay.
And I felt at times I was like a helicopter mom. I mean, I couldn't, because I saw a change in him.
Right.
And then right at he turned 15, and I just said, we have to send him away. He has to be sent away to a program.
I see.
I need to save my son's life.
Right.
Okay. I have to save his life.
Right. Yes. And was it like a residential or outpatient type of thing?
We sent him to a wilderness program
I see.
in Utah, which he hated at first.
For sure.
But we were able to see him, I think, a month and a half in. And by that time, he had grown like 1.5 feet.
Right.
He was muscular. He was eating. He was healthy.
I see.
And he was happy, even though there were struggles. But the beauty, I tried to tell him the beauty of being in this wilderness program, which is it wasn't like the kind that you see like military or whatever.
Right.
It was a really loving program. Tough, because you're hiking miles and miles.
Oh yeah, I bet.
And you are you're having to learn how to build your own fire, and eat and clean what you're eating out of from dirt. I mean, in a way, and I try to tell him, or I did tell him, and I think he learned to appreciate it. That it was, I said, I think this is such a amazing thing for a man
Yeah.
and a woman, a young woman and a young man, because we're so entangled in a concrete world. So to be out in the wilderness like that was super cool.
I think so too.
And he learned a lot. He learned a lot, and he learned how to love it. We would have really deep conversations, but he learned how to love it and appreciate it. And then after that, we sent him on to a boarding school,
I see.
which he didn't love so much.
I see. And he did the boarding school for how long?
I want to say like 9 months. So all in all, he's gone like for a full year.
Oh, okay. And when he got out of boarding school, did he just go to regular high school?
No, we put him into like this transitional school where he could kind of catch up with, even though he went to school at boarding, while he was in boarding school. Then we put him in this program. I think like athletes and people go in when they're doing, trying to catch up, or when they've got athletic programs that they're going into. But anyway, so we put him in that, and then we put him in high school, which is hard. It was hard.
Yeah.
Because you're still, now he's 17,
Mm-hmm.
16 and a half, and all his friends are drinking and smoking and partying
In their lives.
and and he's like, what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, when we would talk about it, we had a contract. These kids don't stick by a contract.
Yeah.
Sorry, but they don't. It would be a miracle if they do, all of them. But I would be interested to know what the percentage is of the kids who stick by their contract after they leave the boarding school,
Right.
the program.
Right.
So
yeah, usually they just do their time and move on to the high.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then COVID hit.
Oh, no way.
So COVID hit.
And this is 2020. I see.
His year of graduation. So pretty much he lived in LA with his sister for 6 months, 6 to 7 months.
I see.
And did a school online and came back to Laguna a lot. And I was in LA all the time.
I see.
Helicopter mom, making sure
Yeah.
everything was good. And he struggled. You live in LA, and these kids are in these big, huge mansions,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all partying, and their parents are all around the United States or the world. I don't know.
Right.
And he's doing things he shouldn't be doing.
Right.
So at that time, I pretty much stayed in LA a lot. But then there was a time he struggled really bad.
Yeah.
And he and his best friends kind of stayed beside him all night, one night. And because he had taken a lot of Xanax.
Mm.
I believe it's Xanax. I could be wrong. But it was his drug of choice was Oxy and
really?
Xanax. Yeah.
Okay, so
He didn't shoot up heroin. He didn't do meth. But isn't that meth? Oxy?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, Oxy is actually an opiate. Works for the heroin.
Yeah.
But it's usually prescribed by a doctor, but people
Usually
have their ways.
The interesting thing about all that is about Big Pharma is they got the United States so addicted and lied about it and said it's non-addictive.
Oh, yeah.
None of us knew it. I had it in my cabinet.
Really?
Of course. It was non-addictive. It was good.
Yeah.
Everybody. And now, years later, while people are dying, getting it off the street and everything, Big Pharma.
Yeah.
Yeah. They did what they set out to do. Make everyone addicted.
Make everyone addicted.
And lie about it.
Their drug.
Yeah.
it is really sad.
It's so sad. And you have a best friend. Your best friend.
Yeah, my best friend and me, we were in the big pharma thing with the opiates and the oxycontins. That was like in the early 2000s. You know, when they were just like free for all. Anybody can get it.
Mm-hmm.
Any doctor would sign it. And it was probably when me and my best friend it's like the early 2000s, mid 2000s, I guess you could say, 2006, 2007. The pills were kind of already being taken back, and but the demand was already created for the opiates. So heroin was taken over, and that's what me and my best friend were doing. We were pretty much in this second wave, I guess you would say. And then 10 years later, fentanyl was created on the streets, distributed by maybe cartels or certain governments. And that's when, they started to put them into the heroin, and they started putting it into all the hard street drugs. And then I found out later on that even pills, they would be counterfeit, Oxycontin or Xanax or just anything. They would put fentanyl in this stuff so you can be addicted and just keep buying their stuff without realizing that it's actual poison that is killing people in masses because no one's regulating and nobody is really knowing what they're doing. You know, they're just,
And they don't care. They're in some kind of, shithole house making synthetic fentanyl that kills people, and they don't care. And they're wearing hazmat suits.
right.
And it's follow the money. It's all about the money.
Yeah, driven by that.
Mm-hmm.
And but pretty much it was like a 3-phase thing. This is what I've seen, at least from my experience. It started with pills, and then it was like, let's get rid of the pills, do street drugs, and then let's create a street drug that just created this fentanyl epidemic.
I think I just learned something. Like, I didn't know that it was like they started pushing back like in 2006.
Yeah,
From all the,
because people were catching on a little bit, lawsuits and Class A lawsuits. Big Pharma took a very big hit. I think like maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
yeah, they should have taken one a lot longer.
And they should take more. I mean, they should.
Yeah, what I sit back and wonder how many of their children
Right.
are doing that.
Right.
You can bet they've kept them away from all that
Absolutely.
while they're bringing in the money.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a thing that's been going on for, I would say, like 20, maybe closer to 30 years. It was in the making.
Do you know, I never even really knew
Sorry?
about fentanyl until 3 weeks before Cooper passed.
Really?
My girlfriend said, she brought it to my attention. I was like, I don't even know what it is. And so Cooper and I had a really long discussion about it. And I called him and I was just like, I'm just so scared. I didn't know anything about this. And we talked a lot about it, and he promised me. He's like, Mom, I promise you, you won't have to carry me, that I will carry you. And 3 weeks later, he's gone. And I am carrying him. So
I wanted to talk about I know he it seemed like he wanted to do it seemed like he himself wanted to bring awareness. He wanted to partner up with End Overdose.
mm-hmm.
and maybe, help distribute Narcan. And
Oh, yeah.
it seemed like, even in his, I guess you could say his final days of his life, it seemed like he really wanted to um, be part of the solution of what was going on
He
the
did.
outside.
I think it's interesting that Cooper was very smart.
Yeah.
I believe he was. I people didn't give him the credit he deserved. He was extremely smart and ahead of his time, and I think that at first when he would talk about mental health and
Yes.
struggles on social media, I would call him and go, "How are you saying that?" And I felt embarrassed. And then finally, when we talk about it, I'm like, "You're right." So I am so grateful that he did. I'm grateful he reached out to Theo 2 weeks before he passed an end overdose.
Yeah.
And I believe that he, he wanted to be a spokesperson,
Yeah.
and I believe he still is.
Right.
He wanted to be a spokesperson. He wanted to for end overdose. He wanted to. He wanted all his friends and everyone to carry Narcan.
Yes.
He was a big advocate. He found them, I think, 2 weeks before he passed, and got in touch with them and said, I want to create a merch with you, and all the proceeds go to end overdose. So
Right.
we did that for Cooper after he passed.
I see.
We got in touch with Theo, and we did a merch drop, and did a couple of times after that one, after the first time. And anyway, then 4 or 5 days before he passed, he created the platform Coops Advice.
Oh, really?
3 or 4 days before he passed. And he created it because he wasn't ashamed of his struggles, but yet he felt shame. I think he's an addict, but he created this platform so people could have a platform so they could talk to each other.
I see.
And have you been on it?
I have seen it.
It's grown, and I mean, it's still like 165,000 kids strong, or people. I don't know if there's adults on it, or I think adults should go on it
Yeah.
because they can understand their own children by probably listening and hearing what other kids are saying.
Right.
And you can't bully on it. Like, he made it very clear, you can't bully on it. You can't talk bad about anyone, and if you do, you're kicked off. So we have a moderator, and she's been on it since day one.
Really?
She is amazing. She started it with Cooper, and we depend on her so much.
Really?
And she's amazing.
Wow. Is it like a scheduled meeting, or is it just?
No, it's just every day, anytime, 24/7.
Wow. That's awesome.
People can go on to this platform, and whether your struggles are with suicidal thoughts,
Right.
or anything mental health. And the thing that I appreciate is Cooper understood mental health differently than I think most of us. Like, one of my dear friends I met, Stephanie, in New York. And excuse me, what's the name of her company? I can't think. The Harris Project. I should know it. The Harris Project. She has started something many years ago, co-occurring disorder. And I feel like, I didn't know her, but she knew Cooper before I knew her. And she felt like Cooper understood the co-occurring disorders way before so many other people.
Right.
And she's definitely educated me. You need to go and watch her stuff. I think she's a very interesting person.
Oh, nice.
But or I'm suggesting you go to, but
Absolutely.
But it encompasses all of mental health. Wouldn't you say that, Kim? Yeah.
Wow. That's so awesome that he created that right before.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing.
Yeah. She had a vision, and it's still going.
Yeah,
That's awesome. I love that so much.
I do too.
Yeah, because he was 20 years old.
19 years old,
I-
3 weeks shy of his 20th birthday.
Wow. All right.
So Cooper was 19, 3 weeks shy of his 20th birthday. He, so June is kind of I hate June, but I love it. I mean, he passed on June 9th. His dad's birthday is June 10th.
Oh wow.
My best friend, her birthday is June 15th. Cooper's birthday is June 20th. I mean, it's so, I feel like in June I get like a week where I can breathe and celebrate my best friend. And I'm trying to get to where I can learn to celebrate my husband and he learn to celebrate him as well.
Right.
Because we want to get back there because we know that's what Cooper would want.
I see. It's always hard when that day happens.
It's like the crazy thing is the 9th of every single month, I'm always like a few days before, so what is wrong with me? And I'm just like constantly like crying. And then I realized it's the 9th is coming up. So it's just like another reminder, another month, another, and then I start panicking that June is coming. And as and Lucia and I were just talking about this, I feel like as time has gone on, and you might say the same, that the things feel a little lighter. But even just last night, Harold and I are having dinner, and I just start crying. Like and I can't stop until I stop. And I don't want to stop. When I have those moments, I need to grieve my baby.
Right. Absolutely. It's one of the most. I mean, it's probably the worst feeling. Yes, I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible for so many of us out there. And when I cry, I don't just cry for me. I cry for hundreds and thousands of moms and dads and siblings and cousins and friends. I mean, literally, this is killing a generation.
Absolutely.
And it's not fair. And I don't think we're doing enough. Even though maybe I'll step back a little bit, we are doing what you do.
Yeah.
Is saving lives. I think that, but I don't think the government, I don't think we're doing enough. Let's keep sweeping it. And until it happens to another parent, people judge, they shame, I wonder what they say behind my back. I really don't care. But I hate that people feel shame. I hate that addicts feel shamed.
Right.
That more than anything breaks my heart.
Right. I know. Yeah, it was hard for me personally, to talk about anything for a long time because of a lot of stigma with IV use, heroin, and even like my best friend, because I believe he died from fentanyl. Just don't have the paperwork for it, but I just it's hard to really talk about that for the longest time because of the shame and the guilt, and like we're looked at in a lower as humans, even though I've been sober for a while, it can be a hard conversation to have with the public, which is why I'm really grateful to have started a podcast so we can, end some of that. And I wanted to just touch up again on Coop's advice, if you don't mind, because I really think that's really admirable that he started that so young,
So young.
so young, like, and that he really wanted to advocate for the people that feel like they couldn't say anything. And it's been going on for how long now? Since 4 years?
Probably, well, it was 4 or 5 days before he passed. So, June 9th will be 4 years.
That's amazing.
And it's still 165,000 strong. I want it to grow again. It was like 215. I want it to grow again. I want people to understand this is about young adults and their struggles. Why won't parents go on it?
Yeah.
No one has to know. Create your own little account and just listen to what these kids are saying.
Right.
Because one of those young adults might be your child that are struggling. And if you're struggling with your child, maybe something in Coop's advice with these young adults talking about it, you're gonna, oh, that's my child. I can relate.
Right.
And learn how to deal with them and on their level.
Sure. I understand.
So yeah.
That's awesome. And right now you're currently as I remember you mentioning that there's a court trial for the person that sold him this. It's counterfeit fentanyl laced pill.
Yeah. So I don't. My husband's like very knowledgeable about that. I just but I mean, it's all you can look at for it on. I think it's in public records. So there were I believe four drivers driving, like Snapchat drivers driving drugs. And then there was I call them death dealers.
Oh yeah.
A top death dealer. And then 4 death drivers. And also the guy that killed Cooper. All the sentencing is happening now, and the last one will be March 30th.
What?
It's all like, you're more than welcome to come.
Yeah.
I'll be there. I won't. Harold goes to the death drivers.
Yeah.
All theirs. I'm just gonna go to the guy from the top and the guy that killed Cooper. And that was March 30th.
That was one thing I actually when I went to the event a couple months ago when I was on Phil's passing day. Actually, I actually,
Was it really?
yeah, it was. That was the actual day.
Wow.
And it was really enlightening to see all these people, parents, but people in general, get together. And they were kind of, I wasn't even 100% aware of Snapchat, covering up these drug deals going on in their platform and the protecting them almost.
Yes.
It's like just such a disgusting evil, that I was just not even aware of. I know people sold drugs on social media. I mean, that's just going to be a thing, but just the fact that, these companies were not wanting to, release the information of people, that are, selling poison and killing kids. It's just wild to me. And so, that's why I love going to these events and, learning more and connecting with, but people, facing this problem. It's something that is near dear to me.
I know.
And I just I needed to be there and hear that.
I'm glad you were there. That's where we first finally met.
Yeah, right.
But those are hard things for me to go to. Harold goes to a lot more than I do.
Oh, really?
I'm trying.
Right.
I'm trying. So I do what I feel like I can. And I honestly just really felt that sitting with you was super important. I think that Cooper really would have wanted me here on this. I don't know why, on this particular podcast. I think
Yeah.
that he would have.
Good. And and Cooper had a big following on all these platforms. And he was he influenced a lot of people, and I just think it's really awesome. Because people can be looked at as a celebrity, right, and influence people for the wrong reasons. Like acting in like an idiot for attention.
Mm.
But I really admire that he was working on trying to help people and using that for good.
I know. Like I said at first, I was like, "What are you doing?" And I love that he felt so compelled, and because even though he could be silly,
Right.
In moments and on his social platforms,
Sure.
he also felt like he needed to say things to let other people know you are not alone. He didn't want anyone to feel like they were struggling on their own. He wanted everyone to know that he was there. And I don't know how when I get DMs, and I don't get as many of course, as I used to. And I have to tell you, I have answered probably 1 million DMs since he's been gone.
Yeah.
And and my birthday just passed, and I had some beautiful DMs from his fans, and they always touch my heart.
Yeah.
And the reason I went on is because I know that's what Cooper would want from me.
Yeah.
And somehow in his everyday life, doing whatever he was doing,
Right.
living with Sab and doing his brain needles and stuff, he still had time to reach out to people.
Yeah.
And I love that. Maybe not everyone,
Right.
but he reached out, and I think that was really important. So,
And is there we were talking about it a little earlier. There's a documentary in the works right now. What is that about?
documentary is about, well, first of all, his best friend, Jaden Hostler, wrote a song for Cooper when he almost OD'd. Anyway, he was in Vegas with his best friends, and he found some drugs and took a lot.
I see.
And they ended up staying up with, making sure he was okay through the night. And then my husband went and picked him up in Vegas. And wait, what was my whole thing to this? Sorry, guys. What was I saying? What?
You're talking about a song.
Oh, yeah. Kim. Anyway, Jaden wrote this song after that, Tell Me About Tomorrow.
I see.
And because I think it scared Jaden, it scared Quentin, it scared Shannon. It scared everyone that was there. And Cooper calls me on the phone after Jaden tells him he wrote in this song. And he said, I want you to listen to this song, a part of it.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. So we hung up. I listened to it. He calls me right back and he says, Mom, I'm done. No more drugs. I'm like, okay. Okay. And he was fine for a while.
Yeah.
He dated Sab, and which I was super grateful for, because as young as they were, they had the sweetest love. They really did. It was really pretty unique at their age. And it was pretty special. And then when they decided to break up, they're almost 20. They've been together for almost 2.5 years.
Okay.
They needed to see if that's what they wanted. I just feel like sometimes with an addict, there's this perfect storm that happens.
Yeah.
And when that perfect storm hits, then that pull
Right.
to go back and do the thing you hate the most, which I know he hated, it's just right there. It's going to make me feel good for a moment. And then he kind of got mixed up with a couple of people.
Yeah.
And he thought he trusted this person he was kind of hanging with. And for me, they were a bad influence. And they allowed him to do the things that he couldn't do. They allowed him to do Xanax.
Yeah.
And anyway, 4 days before, it might have been when he started the Coops Advice platform.
Right.
He called me, and he had this setback for about 5 weeks, maybe longer. I don't know. We were so close that I knew when there was a problem. Like I knew, and I feel like it was probably 5 or 6 weeks. And anyway, this person had gone out of town that he was hanging with, and he called me and said, I know I've had my setback, but I'm doing good. It's been 3 days. And I'm like, okay, all right, good. And then the day that he passed, which I never talk about, and I won't get into anything yet. At some other point in my life, I might.
Mm-hmm.
But the day he passed, he called me probably about 2.5 hours before he passed, and he just said, I'm doing well. I'm on my way to Bible study. And we talked about stuff, and we were laughing, and I said, I'm proud of you, and he said, Mom, I gotta go. I goes, I love you, and I love the Lord. Those were the last things he said to me, which I love. So I got that.
Yeah. It's amazing.
It's amazing to hear those words.
Yeah. I think as tragic as his passing is, and it's so fucking tragic.
Oh yeah.
It is amazing that you and Harold are like continuing to live his legacy.
Mm-hmm. And a sister, Parker.
Yeah. I really admire it. I think it's so beautiful. And that, he's like almost like immortalized,
My sister was in town for Christmas, and we were all sitting in our room, and it was interesting. I think Harold and I needed to hear this, but she said, I admire you two. I'm so proud of you. And we were like, why? She said, because because she had stayed with me for 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks after Cooper. And she said, because you both sat down with Parker and said, we cannot let this tragedy, this horrible thing, separate our family. We just can't. And we made a commitment, no matter how hard, because do you know how hard it is not to say you, but we just decided that we would stay in it. And I kept feeling like if anything happened to us, if we did decide to divorce, I could feel Cooper's heart. I could just feel him like be so sad. So thank you.
Yeah. Just one more time, where can people find Coops advice?
Coopsadvice.org. We're on YouTube. We're where else? I think maybe Theo might have something on endoverdose. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
These are good questions to ask Harold, because Harold is so involved with all that, and I'm like, I do little things, you know.
Okay.
But you asked me about the documentary.
Yeah.
Did we even finish that?
No.
Okay, let me have some water.
Let's go.
So the documentary, we were going to have a screening for it in January.
Yeah.
And then I looked at it and I got really triggered. There are things I'm like, no, that's not going in there.
Okay.
These people aren't going in there. That's not going in there. I had a little bit of a panic attack.
Okay.
And there's things that have to be said in there. Do I want them said? Of course not. But we kept them in there because addiction is addiction.
Right.
No, and there's no way you can hide it. You know, his struggles. He had struggles. And so I didn't want to put, dust that under the rug. But there are things that I needed to do and say. And I wanted to give hope at the end. Kind of like what we were just talking about with me and Harold. Because we did stay together. And in some ways it's brought us a lot closer.
Right.
And so the documentary is out at festivals right now.
Oh, it is.
It is. But there have been some changes, and we won't screen it until they're finished, the changes, and they're probably any day.
I see.
So
you expecting it to be out this year?
Hope so.
Yeah.
I don't know what platform, I don't know where or anything, and quite honestly, it's not really in our hands. We just
I see. Okay. Yeah. Up there.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But that'd be awesome though, to have that come out, and I hope it turns out good.
Me too.
Doesn't good,
I think it will.
It's
for everyone. It doesn't talk. Someone asked me a long time ago, why Cooper? Why is this about Cooper? But it's not really about Cooper. Yes, it's about him, his life, his friendships. But it's also about addiction and love and friendship. And we were a close family. I mean, he and I, we're all close. But addiction doesn't matter where you come from, how close you are. And Cooper just had that brain like maybe you had, oh, it feels so good.
right.
I can run from whatever you're running from
Right.
in that moment. And, just like when he came back from boarding school, all these kids could drink and party and have fun. But Cooper's brain didn't do that. We didn't party and drink and have fun and be done the next day for a week.
Right.
Oh, we have to give grace. Stop blaming, stop shaming.
Something much more meaningful. And what's this in the surface?
Wonder how many people have Xanax or Oxy or whatever in their cabinets trying to sleep at night.
Right.
I guarantee a lot. I like a glass of wine or two every night.
Right.
But, I mean, I'm not shaming someone for having to have Xanax to sleep.
Right.
Stop shaming addicts. Love them.
Right.
Grace.
Right. But I do believe that he did a pretty good job, I think, in destigmatizing that.
You do?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think so.
I hope so.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on this podcast.
Thank you for
Hey.
having me.
I think what you and your husband do is absolutely wonderful.
I think what you do is wonderful. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Fuck that nut.